and it is responsible for the growth of the plant, correct? Then the next maximum gas present in the air is which one?
Oxygen,
Very nice.
21%.
Oxygen 21%.
Very good. It is oxygen 21 percentage, and it is useful for the breathing of living organism as well as for the burning. Now the next thing is carbon dioxide. What is the amount of carbon dioxide?
0.03.
0.03%.
And where is it? Where it is used? Plants prepare their food. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Photosynthesis.
very nice. The process is
Photosynthesis.
that process is known as photosynthesis. So now 78 plus 21 makes 99, correct? And in remaining 1 percentage, 0.03 is carbon dioxide. Now, whatever
Carbon
rest
dioxide.
amount is remaining left, in that rest amount, water vapor, smoke, argon, then all such other gases, for example, present in the air. For example, hydrogen, helium, argon, correct? Water vapor and smoke is present in the air. Yes or no, beta?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Are you listening? Okay. Then we had learned about the properties of air, and in properties of air, we had learned three properties. It occupies space, it exerts pressure, and it has weight. Through the different activities, we had learned all these three properties of air, right? Then comes the atmosphere. Any one of you know what is meant by atmosphere? We had learned it yesterday. What is meant by the word atmosphere? The layer of air around the earth is called what?
It's called atmosphere.
Yes, it called atmosphere. And atmosphere having how many main layers? There are five main layers. What's the
Yes,
name
ma'am. There
of
are
those five
five
main?
main layers.
The
And
five
what
main layers are
what
troposphere, stratosphere,
Troposphere, stratosphere,
mesosphere,
sphere,
thermosphere,
sphere,
exosphere.
and exosphere.
okay, there are five main layers of the atmosphere. They are as follows: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Now, just after get to know about the different layers of the atmosphere, we had learned about the importance of atmosphere. Correct? Then the topic which we had learned yesterday was water. So in the water, what we had learned? How many percentage of the air is covered with water?
70 percentage.
Yes, 70 percentage of
70%.
the earth surface is covered with the water. And now, which are the sources of water?
Rivers, ponds, lakes, whales, and
Very nice. Okay. And
and main source of
oceans.
water is rain.
Yes, and main source of water is rain. Then is water important for the all living organism or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Okay,
important.
so to learn,
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
so
It's so important.
very much essential. Essential means important. Then how much contribution of
Ma'am,
water
your voice
supports
is
life
breaking.
for the clear beta full network is there. And listen, then water is not only important for the survival of all living organism as well as we as a human being depended on water to perform so many different activities. Okay, such things also we had learned yesterday. Okay, then we had begin yesterday at last impurities in water. What is example germs or dirt or any such other kind of things which makes water impure, or we can say which makes water unfit for drinking. Such kind of things are known impure in water. Okay, impurities which are there? Impurities are of two types. Which are there?
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
But it's not breaking here. Everybody is taking lectures and complete lectures. In your place, there might be issue at your place. Okay? How many
Yes,
types
ma'am. It
of
is
impurities are there?
very clear.
How many types of impurities are there? Two types of. Okay.
Two types.
One is known as
In-
soluble and then one is
insoluble
known as
impurities, soluble
insoluble.
impurities.
Yes. Among one of whom we learned yesterday that one type of insoluble impurities can be purified by using which method?
Filtration.
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 Very
Filtration
nice.
and sedimentation.
Okay. Now the
Filtration.
how
Filtration
okay yes.
and pollution.
Okay. So if we want to remove insoluble impurities from the water, okay, here two methods explained. Yesterday, filtration, correct? Now today let's see about the sedimentation. Now can you see here two jars are here? See, in one
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
jar, the beaker, beaker, muddy water is here. Now, if we are not disturbing this water, means if we are not moving this beaker, then all the dust particles or all the impurities in this way settle down here at the bottom of the beaker. So this method is known as sedimentation. Okay, all the sediment means all the sand or other mud and all dust particles which are not able to dissolve inside the water. They all just settle down themselves after some time at the bottom of the beaker. So this process is known as sedimentation. Now,
Ma'am,
as and when this, please mute your mic, everybody. Who is this girl not muting her mic?
Gulzar Kasman.
Ma'am, Kasman Ifat.
When then when all settle down at the bottom of the okay start that not moving much but slowly and steadily we got clear water okay inside the another beaker that process so both of the okay are useful soluble or insoluble no consensual impurities can be spread bit okay and inside the water can dissolve at the
Ma'am, your voice is so
yes
much breaking.
Ma'am, your voice is too much breaking.
it's okay just a minute
And I can't understand this you are telling.
Ma'am, your voice is
okay now can you
breaking.
hear okay just a minute beta now is it clear
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Now it's clear.
ma'am, I can't
okay fine
understand that you tell.
I'm, I'm explaining again listen the all of mud
Ma'am,
can you hear me guys
no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
can you hear me?
Ma'am, your voice is not coming.
Not coming.
Just a minute
My screen is not present.
No,
Leo,
ma'am,
daddy
your
का दिख
screen
गया.
is also not there.
Now am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now can you see my screen? Now can you see my
Yes,
screen,
ma'am.
beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. Now listen. Okay, see, we were learning, or we had already learned yesterday about the one of the method to remove insoluble impurities. Correct? Now the second method we are learning. Name of this method is sedimentation. Here actually two methods are explained: sedimentation and decantation. Now please tell me one thing. Can we dissolve? Means are we able to dissolve mud and sand inside the water?
No, ma'am.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
we are not able to dissolve sand and mud inside the water. So those are known as insoluble impurity. Is it known as insoluble impurity? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. It's
No, ma'am.
insoluble
Yes,
impurity.
ma'am.
Okay, so now the same way how we had learned here in the filtration that insoluble impurities can be separated through this method known as filtration. Here also we can remove insoluble impurities with help of this two methods, sedimentation and decantation. Now what we should have to do in the sedimentation, water should be poured inside a beaker. Okay, so now if we are not disturbing and moving that water from this place, okay, this beaker from this place, then what will happen? All the sediments means all the impurities like sand, like mud, all such things settle down at the bottom of the beaker. Can you see this in this picture, beta? Can you see it in this picture?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's the name of this method? Sedimentation. What is the name of this method?
Sedimentation.
Sedimentation. Now you
Sedimentation.
okay, now can you see the upper part of the water? Means at the bottom all the impurities settle down, and at the upper part the water became clear. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
upper
Yes, ma'am.
upper
Yes,
part,
ma'am.
in the upper part of the beaker we can see clear water, and all the dust particles, okay, settle down at the bottom. So whatever clear amount of clear water we have it, if we slowly take it inside the another beaker, so and dust particles should remain as it is inside this beaker, then this method is known as what? This method is known as decantation. What's the name of this method? Decantation. Okay, dust and mud particles
Decantation.
remains as it is inside the first beaker, and whatever clear water we have gathered, that we can pour inside the another beaker. Okay, so this method is known as what? It's known as decantation.
Decantation.
So here
Decantation.
we have learned, right now we are learning two methods, sedimentation and decantation, but both the methods are used to separate which kind of impurity? To separate insoluble impurity. Got it, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So how we had learned how we can remove the insoluble impurities? The same way, soluble impurities can also be separated. Can you see here the heading removing soluble impurities?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Ma'am,
soluble. Yes, beta.
you will tell that you will see the video. Matlab, you will tell that I will.
Okay, which one about the oxygen, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll first complete this, then I will show you, ne, beta. Okay. Okay,
Okay,
listen.
ma'am.
Listen now, just like how we can remove this insoluble impurities, the same way there are different methods to remove soluble impurities. Now, salt, is it dissolved inside the water? Can we separate it easily? It's not easy for us to separate it, just like the mud and dust particles, through the method of filtration and through the method of sedimentation and decantation. Yes, beta?
No, ma'am. Salt disappear easily.
Nee, can we separate it through the method of filtration and sedimentation?
No, ma'am.
Yes. Why? Because it is soluble inside the water, correct? And it's soluble impurity. At the same time, salt is one of the impurity in water. We are not drinking salty water of ocean and sea. So salt can be separated through the method known as evaporation. Through the method known as Evaporation. Okay, salt is one type of impurity, and how can we separate salt from the water? Through the method known as evaporation. Now, can you see this picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so have you ever think, do you know that the process of water cycle means how rain falls, comes down to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
earth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
see
Yes,
ma'am.
what?
ma'am.
Because of the light of the sun, whatever sources of water are there. Okay, so please mute your mic. Who is this girl? Because of the sun's rays, because of the heat of the sun, okay, in all the sources of water, the water became converted themselves from the water to the water vapor, and that water vapor, when it goes up high above, it condenses itself, means from the water vapor it will convert itself in the form of water droplets and comes back to us in the form of rain. So now at that time also evaporation take place. Okay, and the another thing which I can explain, do you know that how we can prepare salt? How can we prepare salt? Anyone knows the method? Fine.
No, ma'am.
Okay, listen. Sea water and ocean water should be collected from there and just nearby that places. Okay, uh, pits, inside the pits, those water should be poured. So through the light of the sun, water should be evaporated, and which thing remaining left in those shallow pit? Salt
Salt.
remains, yes, salt remains as
Salt.
it is. Afterward, that salt should be collected and send it to the refinery for more purification. Okay, so evaporation. In evaporation, what happens in the evaporation? The liquid, because of the heat, okay, or because it get boiled because of the heat, the liquid convert itself in the form of water vapor, and all the remaining impurities just like salt, okay, it remains as it is in it remains as it is. So in this way we can purify the water. Salt like impurities can be separated through the method of evaporation, as in when we can do it at home also. We can take a vessel, we can add some amount of salt inside it, and we can pour water, then we have to put it on the gas stove, then we have to observe it properly. All the water present inside that vessel evaporates, and at the bottom of that vessel, which thing remaining left? We can
Salt.
find, yes, salt. So
Salt.
this method is known as evaporation. Now the
Ma'am,
same way, yes beta.
I can't understand that this process evaporation.
Okay, listen. See, water changes into water vapor due to the process of evaporation, that you know beta or not?
Yes, ma'am, I know.
Okay, so when water converts itself in the form of water vapor, okay, that process is known as evaporation. You can do one thing, you can take a bowl, okay, add some tablespoon of salt inside it, and pour some water also inside it. Now, when you put it on the gas stove, because of the heat, water will start changing itself in the form of water vapor, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so all the water disappears. Why? Because it transfer itself in the water vapor and get mixed inside the water. But salt is salt. Okay, is not go with the water. It remains as it is inside that vessel. It remains there only. Okay, it's not able to mix with the air because it is one of the impurity. So it remains as it is inside our vessel. Now, got it, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Thank
it's
you.
okay. So this method is known as evaporation. Now comes the second method. Name of this method is distillation. What's the name of this method?
Distillation.
Okay, now see, it's very it's not so easy method, and that's why it's generally used in the laboratories to prepare medicines and in the car batteries, because it takes time. But yes, through this method, whatever water we get it, that water we get it in the very pure form. Okay, the purest form of water we can get through this method. Through which method? What's the name of this method?
Distillation.
Yes, distillation.
Distillation.
And it takes so much time, that's why, and it's quite not so easy method, that's why it is not used generally everywhere, but in the laboratories and to prepare medicines and in the car batteries this method is used. Now can you see a round bottom flex here? Inside that round bottom flex water is present there. Can you see that beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now from the below part, from here, okay, this water which is present in the round bottom flex get heat. See, you can see here. Yes, can you see better?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so because of that heat, the water which is present here in this flex, okay, it will start changing itself from the liquid to the gaseous form, means from the water to the water vapor. You understand it? You
Yes,
got it better?
yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So now see, here is a thermometer. Why thermometer is here? To check the temperature. Okay, to check the temperature. But we do not have to concentrate on the thermometer. But what we have to concentrate, as and when this water convert itself in the form of water vapor, this water vapor, okay, uh, through this particular instrument, this enters inside this condenser from here. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
see, this water vapor comes and enter here. See, this upper part of this flex is closed. So the water vapor cannot comes out from here. Can you see this? This part is closed. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes.
from where, yeah. So what happens as and when it convert in the form of water vapor, it tries to comes up. Okay, you may have seen in the vessel also. The water vapor tries to come out whenever your mother cook the food, you may have seen it. Yes, that water vapor start coming out. Okay, yes beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the same way, when as and when the water convert itself in the form of water vapor, it does not found any other place to go and come out, so slowly it will enter here in this condenser. Okay, and as and when it comes here in the condenser, now what happens here in the condenser, uh, cool temperature, and the cold temperature it will found. Okay, hot, because this water, because it became hot, it will convert itself in the form of water vapor as and when it comes in the condenser. Okay, here it comes in the contact with the cold temperature. See, here in one part of this condenser cold water is there. So as and when this water vapor enters here in the condenser, water vapor convert itself in the form of which form beta, in the form of water vapor, and water vapor comes in the contact of cold temperature. It will again change itself in the form of water droplets, so that water droplets can come here inside this conical flex and we can collect it. So this of water is the pure form of water, this is the pure liquid. You understand or not beta? Okay, if you don't understand this method, listen carefully. You take a vessel, put it on the gas stove, pour some water into it. Correct? It will start boiling.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it start boiling. Now, when it start boiling, it will start changing itself from the water droplet, from water to the water vapor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
But if you put after some times, if you put a lid, or a plate upon that particular vessel, then what happen? Water vapor is allowed to go and mix in the air,
No,
or it
ma'am.
do, okay, so it stay there only, correct, in that vessel.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you just have to switch off the gas, and after few minutes, when you are taking that plate, you may have seen in the routine normal life also, when your mother cook
Yes,
the food,
ma'am.
cook food item, for example rice. Okay, so as and when she prepared the rice and put a plate upon it, and after few minutes, when we want to eat it, and as and when we take the plate from there, can we found the water droplets on the plate?
Yes, ma'am.
So from where does that water droplets came? That water droplets is nothing else but the water vapor which tries to comes out. Okay, remains as it is there, and as and when it found the cold temperature. Okay, means when it becomes cools down. ધીમે ધીમે ઠંડુ પડતું જશે જેમ જેમ. Afterwards, that water vapor convert itself in the form of water droplets. Are you getting understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
the same thing happens in the water cycle. See, because of the heat of the sun, okay, all the water which is present on the earth became hot, and because of that heat, they will start converting themselves in the form of water vapor. We cannot see that. Okay, this process, but it always goes on. It always take place over there. So that water vapor go up high above in the sky, and we know that as and when we go up, the temperature is very cold. It became very cold. Yes, when you are going in the mountain region, the temperature is very cold. Yes or no? Have you feel it or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as and when we goes up, the temperature became so cold, and because of that cold temperature, water vapor will start changing itself in the form of water droplets, and afterwards those water droplets comes back to us in the form of rain. So the same thing happens here in the process of distillation. Okay, but here small amount of water can be purified. Okay, so and this is quite clumsy method, so it cannot not used in the routine in day-to-day life. So distillation is also one of the method to purify the insoluble impurities or soluble impurities. Which kind of impurities? Soluble or insoluble? Soluble impurities can be separated. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because salt like impurity is known as soluble impurity. So it can be easily separated through this kind of method. So today we had learned two methods. One is evaporation, another one is distillation. Now let's go back and learn how water will reach to our house. Okay, that municipality water comes to our house. So how do we it will reach to our house? That would you like to learn, beta?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so see, it's very interesting thing here that how that water, drinking water reaches to our house. That full method is explained here. Okay, so step wise, one by one, point wise, it is explained. So what happened? Whatever main source of water is there, for example, pond, lake, and then dams. You may have heard such kind of names. Okay, from that particular place, those are the places where water get collected. Now this kind of pipes and this kind of arrangement, this kind of settings are there so that water enters here in this kind of fan. Can you see this, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
as and when through the pipe water enters here, this kind of because of this kind of fan like structure, this kind of instruments which are present in this tank, all the bigger impurities, okay, all the bigger impurities converted itself in the form of a small version, in small form. For example, if big branches of the trees are there, if big leaves are there, sometimes the dead bodies of the animals are there. Okay, they all should be divided into small pieces. Now afterwards it enters inside this kind of tank. So here filters are there. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
halls and pores like structure is there. So the bigger impurities one by one passes through both of this filter, and bigger impurities can be collected here. I'm using the word bigger impurities, okay, which are big in size. Then afterwards the water reaches here in the another tank. Now alum, you have heard the name of fatakdi in Gujarati. Your mother may have used that word. Have
No.
you? Okay, you don't know that. Okay, fine. So it is a type of substance which should be added inside the water. So when we add that water, add that substance inside the water, what happens? All the impurities settle down at the bottom of the tank. All the impurities settle down at the bottom of the tank when we add that substance inside this tank. Now, after all the impurities settle down at this bottom
Your
of the
voice
tank,
is not coming.
as all the water settles down at the bottom of this tank, then it moves towards the another tank. Now see, here impurities are here. Is it settled down here? Can we see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Why it settled down here in this tank? Because here we have added alum. So because we have added alum inside the tank, impurities settle down in this tank. Now from here onwards, water will move and comes here in one of the filter. Now this filter is made up of pebbles and gravels and sands. So the water passes through this filter and it moves towards here in the another tank. Now here chlorine is a type of chemical should be added here. So because we add it inside the water, its work and duty is it kills all the germs present inside the water. Because of the chlorine, if germs are present inside the water, it is killed by because of the chlorine. Now then just afterwards that the water comes here, you may have seen this kind of big tanks near your surrounding, in near your locality, near your society. Yes, somewhere area wise this kind of tanks present there. Have you seen it ever, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just after completing passes
Ma'am,
through the just a minute, beta. Just after passes through different methods, water will come here inside this tank and store here in here. Now, then just after that, again it passes through this kind of filter, and then after it will reach to our houses through the pipeline. Okay, so in this way, water comes to our house. Yes, beta.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is the girl who is saying, ma'am?
ma'am, I,
What happens, beta?
ma'am, what is this? मैम जो रिवर के पहले वो टैंक है वो
रिवर के पहले टैंक मीन्स आई गो डू
फैन वाला फैन जैसा है कुछ
रिवर के पहले टैंक दिस वन
हाँ
Drinking water
this
can
is
be
also
made
one type of filter beta. Got it?
यस
All are the different types
थैंक
of
यू मैम
filters. Okay beta. Now if we wants to purify water at our home, okay, there are different methods are explained. That drinking water, how can we purify at home? So drinking water can be purified at our home by three methods. Boiling is the most simple and easiest way to kill all the germs. Okay, and it's very safe for drinking. Have you heard the name boiling? We just have to boil the
Yes,
water,
ma'am.
okay, for some time, and this may kills all the germs present inside it. So it's the very easy and convenient method, okay, to purify water. The second method is chlorination. See, chlorine is a type of substance which kills the germs inside the water. Okay, now this may be this is available in the medical stores also in the form of tablets. How do we eat medicines? In that form this chlorine is available inside the medical store, and if we add them inside the water, okay, it kills all the germs present inside. Can you understand better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the last method is water filter. As in the beginning of the topic related to water, we had learned that different types of filters are present there now in the market. They have so many different new technologies present. Okay, and they are prepared with help of those new technologies, and that water filter are capable to kill all the germs, and it removes all the other dust particles also and harmful bacteria also. So those are also helpful to us to purify water. Okay, so these are the three methods which we can use to purify water at our home. Got it, beta? Boiling, chlorination, and water filter. Girls, can
ओके मैम
okay, so here our chapter number 8 completed. Okay, if, next lecture we'll revise this topics once again, and at the same time we'll solve the uh, this all exercise also. Okay, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you having
ओके
any
मैम
if you having any doubt, just read it once. Okay, and then just ask me in the next class. Okay, girls?
Yes.
Ma'am,
Okay,
you
ma'am.
will send PDF of this note.
Have a
Okay,
wonderful
okay,
day.
beta.
Bye,
Okay,
ma'am.
beta.
Have a
Same to you.
great day.
Bye, beta.
Goodbye, ma'am. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, beta.
Ma'am,
Same to you.
ma'am,
Ma'am.
ma'am,
Goodbye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Uh,
Rohan sir.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Sorry, everybody. I left by mistake.
Don't worry, Muskan.
Wait, quiet. Recording is on.
Ma'am has told left, no, then I tell reason always, okay? Physical board में मैम नाइट में